y'all? This be your girl, Miss EYG in the building. And welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, hey, welcome back, hey, welcome back. Uh, welcome back, welcome back. All right, welcome back to my channel, y'all. Thank you to all my regular subscribers. Thank you for tuning back in with your girl. Thank you, thank you. I love you so much. And for all my new viewers, thank you as well for tuning in to your girl to give your girl a chance. Again, I be your girl, Miss EYG. Okay, Queen Era, either one of those is fine. Yeah, and if you are new to the channel, don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when your girl drop these gems, drop this content, drop the music, drop it like it's hot. I'm dropping content like it's hot, okay? All right. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be alerted. Because your girl is, I'm going to keep them coming. I'm going to keep it going, okay? Energize money. All right. So, as you see in the description below, today, let me get my notes. So today's video, we are going to be talking about the story of Abigail. And if you guys don't know who Abigail is, Abigail was King David's wife. One of King David's wives, because he had a few of them. He had many wives, okay? But we're going to talk about today specifically Miss Abigail, okay? And her story, I wanted to, first before I get into a little summary of her story and what we're going to be talking about today, as you should see, this video in particular is going to be a part of both the Women Wisdom series and a Deeper Look series, okay? So if you by any chance found this video and see it in either one of those playlists, make sure you check out the other videos that are around or in in those playlists as well, okay? So let's get back into it. So Abigail, I'm the reason why I'm choosing to do this story on Abigail is because I feel like it is extremely important to showcase and remember all the women of the Bible just as much as the men, okay? Because women, certain women in the Bible, they did have an extremely strong and important role, and we get this much recognition for it, okay? It's either just a passage or just a certain story, or like Abigail, she's just in this certain chapter and then we don't hear about her anymore. But she, and the job that she had done for her people and for others was just as important as King David, okay? She saved lives just as much as King David did, and we're going to showcase that, and we're going to prove that today. So, but yes, I feel like every single woman that is mentioned in the Bible, they had a significant role to play and was just as big as a role to play as the men in the Bible. And I feel like they don't get enough recognition, and I want to make sure that my queens that are in the Bible, my ladies that are in the Bible, are remembered, okay? So it is my duty to make sure that their stories get told, and not only get told, but get told in the right way so you guys can understand just how important their roles were and just how important it is to remember these women, okay? Just like I did in my other video with Deborah and Yael, or JL, some people like call them, that were in the book of Judges, and their roles, okay? If you guys have not checked that video out, make sure you check it out, okay? And without further ado, let's get back into this knowledge. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, y'all. So without further ado, we're going to head right into the scripture and try to not mind my macaroni arms. I felt like having them out today. I know they look a little big on camera, but they ain't that big. So, okay, y'all, let's go to 1 Samuel 25. Hush. Sorry, y'all. If y'all hear a little, that's my kitten in the background. He likes my attention, and when I'm not giving it to him, he just so okay. So we're going to go to 1 Samuel 25, okay? Okay, and it reads, and Samuel died, and all Israel gathered and mourned for him and buried him at his home in Ramah. And David arose and went down into the wilderness of Paran. Now there was a man in Milan, and his work was in Carmel, and the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he came to be shearing his sheep in Carmel. Okay, this was after Samuel died, and the name of the man was I don't know if they pronounce it Nabal or Nabal. I'm gonna say Nabal. And the name of his wife was Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and beautiful. So that means she was wise. She was very wise and very beautiful. As most of the women of the Most High are. Wise and beautiful. Okay? But the man was hard and evil in his doings, and he was the king, and he was of Caleb. Okay, so he's of Caleb's descendants. And it said the wife was very good in understanding, and he was not so much. He was evil in his doings. He was evil in his ways. So that means she had an understanding and wise, and I'm guessing the relationship with the Most High, and he didn't. Okay, which raises the question of how did these two even get together, or how were they brought together, or why were they together? It raises that question, but maybe we'll find out later on. Maybe not. Okay. Yes, it says so. Let me stop right there. So they were in the wilderness of Paran. So that's like southern Israel, basically in the ranges of Mount Sinai, or I don't know if I ever said that right, but Mount Sinai is territorial, right? So it was southern Israel. Okay, so that's where Abigail and her husband were. He was evil, she was good. Remember that. Okay, and we're going to keep going. So this entire chapter we're just going to be reading. I'm going to be, stopping to explain. Yeah, so she was a good woman of understanding and beautiful, but the man was hard and evil in his doing, and he was of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal was shearing his sheep. And David sent 10 young men, and David said to the young men, go up to Carmel, and you shall come to Nabal and greet him in my name. Okay, so David is sending out his men, say, hey, I need you to go to Abigail's husband at the time, Nabal, and yeah, greet him for me, but in my name, say that King David sent you, so he can know who I am, because David had protected his sheep and his shepherd at the time. So David's like, okay, we're getting to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. And say this, long life and peace to you, and peace to your house, and peace to all that you have. And now I have heard that you have shearers. Now your shepherds have been with us. We did not put them to shame, and not a speck of theirs were missing all the days that they were in Carmel. So he's basically saying we had your shepherds in our possessions. We did not do any harm to them. We kept them. We protected them. And basically saying, okay, this is a kind deed that I did for you. So if you could do a kind gesture and a favor in return, this is what David is telling his men to tell Abigail's husband, Nabal. But remember, he's evil, and he's evil in all his doings. Okay? But David is still saying that, hey, we did not put them to shame or do anything evil to them. 8. Ask your young men and let them inform you. So let my young men find favor in your eyes, for we come on a good day. Please give whatever comes to your hand to your servants and to your son David. So again, he's saying, hey, I protected your sheep. I'm your shepherds. I protected them. I made sure nothing happened to them or no evil came to them. I'm just asking you for if you could be able to give anything that you're. He didn't even give a specific. David said, whatever you desire to give me, could you just find favor in, the men that I'm sending? Can you find favor in them? And can you find favor in me as David and give whatever you like? Just whatever your heart desires to give me for doing this favor for you, like a favor for a favor. I did this for you. Could you do this for me? I'm not saying what I want, just, whatever you can give, could you help me? You know what I mean? Because they were in the wilderness. Okay. Um, 9. And the young men of David came and spoke to Nabal according to the words in the name of David, and waited. But Nabal answered the servants of David and said, who is David? And who is the son of Yahuwah? The servants who are running away from their masters have become many nowadays. And I shall take my bread and my water and my meat that I have slaughtered for my shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where. So he's saying, who the heck is David? Who is David? Isn't he's on the run? And I'm going to take the things that I have in possession for myself, because he was feasting at the time, my meals, my meat. Um, and the things that I basically worked hard for, I'm going to give it to someone that I don't even know who he is. Basically being a smart aleck, okay? And being very, very disrespectful. And like, no, I'm not going to give him anything. Who is he, So, number 12. And the young men of David turned around on their way and went back and came to and reported to all the words to David. And David said to them, each one of you guard your swords. So each guarded on their sword, and David also guarded on his sword. And the 400 men went with David, and 200 remained with baggage. So David got upset. He let his anger get the best of him and was like, you know what? Well, since he doesn't want to, I did this great thing for him and he doesn't want to return the favor. Okay, I'm gonna kill him. Basically, he said, we're gonna go to war. Since you don't want to do this you're trying to repay evil to me, and I did this kind deed for you. Okay, we finna kill you and your household. That's what David was on. And yeah. 14. And the one of the young men informed Abigail. So someone told Abigail, the wife of Nabal, saying, see, David has sent messengers from the wilderness to greet our master, but he scuffled at them. Meaning he just laughed at them. He whatever. But the men were very good to us. He's telling Abigail this. They were very good to us and did not put us to shame, nor did we miss in any item all the days we accomplished them when we were in the fields. Right? He's telling them he's telling Abigail yeah, they were trying to the men that are coming, your husband was being very disrespectful and mean to them, even though they didn't, when we were in the fields, they didn't harm us and they protected us to make sure that we were okay. 16. They were all with us by night and day, and all the days we were with them, tending the sheep. And now we see what we should do, for evil has resolved against our master and against all his household. He is too much of a son of Baal, basically, to speak to. So he's basically saying to Abigail, what are we going to do? Because they fear that their lives are in danger, which they're right, because David is on his way with his men to kill the household, because of her husband not wanting to all because her husband was being so dang on evil and mean to David and his men. Then Abigail, this is where the story of Abigail and her strongness comes in. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and two skins of wine, and 5 sheep made ready, 5 measures of roasted grain, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and loaded them on donkeys. And she said to her servants, Pass over before me. See, I am coming after you. But she did not inform her husband Nabal. So she's gathering up things to feast on. She's gathering up food and things to give to David, but she's not going to tell her husband about it, right? Because he had already said no. So she said she's taking matters into her own hands and say, you know what? My husband doesn't know any better. He's being very evil right now, so I'm going to do what I need to do as a woman with understanding, as a woman who's wise, to say if you repay someone who does good for you, you also do good for them. So she's wise and understanding that, and this is what she's choosing to do. Let's see, I always lose my place. Okay, 20. And it came to be, as she rode on the donkey and went down under cover of the hill, there was David and his men coming down toward her, and she met them. And David said, Only in vain have I protected all this one has in the wilderness, so that not a peck was missing of them that belonged to him, and he has repaid me evil for good. So he's like, I've done this good thing for your husband, and look what he's doing for me. I asked him one simple favor, and look what he's doing. He's returning my good deed with evil deeds. And then he said, Let Elohim, or Yah, do so and more also to the enemies of David, if I leave one male of all who belong to him by morning or night. He's saying he's getting ready to kill everybody in the household, because of her husband, because this evil, right? And Abigail saw David, and she hasted to come down from the donkey, and fell on her face before David, and bowed down to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, On me, my master, let the crookedness be on me, and please let your female servant speak in your ears, and hear the words of your female servant. Please let not my master regard this man of Baal noble, for as his name is, so is he. Noble or Nabal or noble is his name, and fully is with him. But I, your female servant, did not see the young men of your master whom you sent. Okay? And now my master, as Yahuwah lives, and as your being lives, such Yahuwah as withheld you from coming to bloodshed, and from avenging yourself with your own hand. Now let your enemies be as noble, her husband, even those seeking evil against my master. And now this present which your female servant has brought to my master, let it be given to the young men who followed my master. Please forgive the transgression. This is all what she's telling David. Please forgive the transgressions of your female servant, for Yahuwah is certainly making a steadfast house for my master, because my master fights the battles of Yahuwah, and evil is not found in you in all your days. And if a man rises to pursue you and seek your life and the life of your master, and has been bound in the bundle of living with Yahuwah, your father and creator, then the lives of your enemies he shall sling out as from the pocket of sling. And it shall be, when Yahuwah has done this for my master, according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and has commanded you to be ruler over Israel. Do not let this be a straggling and stumbling of your heart to my master, that you have shed blood without cause, or that my master has saved himself. And when Yahuwah has done good to my master, then remember your female servant. So basically, okay, so we're going to stop right there for a second. Okay. So basically, Abigail is saying to David, she was able to calm David down. She was able to calm David down and say, hey, I put the transgression, sorry, someone keeps calling me. She basically took blame for her husband. She basically took the blame for her husband doing this wrong deed of trying to basically be evil and repay David's good deed with evil, right? So she said, put the transgression on me, blame me. But as you're blaming and blame me, please accept the gifts that I have in my hand. Please accept what I have brought. But she's taking all the blame for what her husband did, even though she even said that I did not see your servants that you sent, my husband did. But blame me, blame me, blame me, right? um and she's basically telling David that she basically has a relationship with the Most High, okay, Yahuwah, because she's calling him by his name. So she's saying to him, I know the Most High, okay, and this the Most High does not want you to do this. You're letting your anger, basically in a nutshell, you're letting your anger drive you, even though my husband is the enemy right now because he's doing wrong to you, but you're still willing to do something that is outside of the Most High right now, and the Most High does not want you to do this. You're getting ready to let your anger drive you to kill not only him, my husband, but everyone in his household, and that's not what you should do. She's basically doing everything she can to calm him down and to get him back into, snap him back into reality. But she's doing it in a very subtle, womanly way that only us women can do. And I can be a testament as well. It takes a lot, when men and their pride and the anger and pride collide, they get this, oh, you think I'm a punk, huh? Okay, I got you. I got something for you. And men decide to let their anger drive them to a place of no return. So us as women, we have to be there to ground them, to kind of find that balance and be like, you know what? Even though something wrong is going on here, you keep your composure. You keep doing what you're supposed to do. And that's exactly what Abigail is doing in this instance. She's calming David down. She's reminding David of the Most High's word, of his will, and what the Most High stands for and who the Most High is. She's reminding him of that. Okay, so she's the woman that he needs, is like leveling him down. Remember, she's a wise woman with understanding, and plus she has a relationship with the Most High because she's calling the Most High by his name. So she's like, bring it down, David. I know you're upset, and I know you want to kill everybody in sight, but look what I'm bringing you. I brought you things. My husband didn't do it, but look what I did. I'll take the blame, but accept what I'm bringing you. I brought you food. I brought you things. I brought you, you know what I mean? She gave. She did exactly what David wanted her husband to do. She did it, okay? But she did it in a very subtle way that only women can. So, all praises to Abigail. Okay, so 32. And this is what David said. And David said to Abigail, blessed be Yahuwah, Father of Israel, who sent you to meet me today. See, the Most High sent her to meet. Hello. Why? Because she's giving, right? She knows the Most High by his name, right? And blessed is your good taste, and blessed are you because you have kept me this day from coming to bloodshed, and from avenging myself with my own hand. Nevertheless, as Yahuwah, Father of Israel, lives, who has kept me back from doing evil to you, and if you had not hurried and come to meet me, not a male would have been left to noble to the break by day for certain. Okay, so David's saying, thank you for calming me down. Thank you for reminding me of the Most High. Thank you for reminding me of the Most High's word. And because I was getting ready to shed blood and I was going to kill everybody in sight, and including her. Everybody in his household was getting ready to go because he was that angry, he was that upset, and he was that mad. So he was like, I thank you, and I thank you, and I blessings be to you, and I thank the Most High for sending you to me because it was getting ready to go down, so yeah. And the Most High he's the reason for all of this. The Most High he did in fact send her to David, say, calm my son down. You have to remind my son of some things right now. Okay, so we're going to finish this out. 35. And David received from her hand what she had brought him, and said to her, Go in peace in your house. See, I have listened to your voice, and I have accepted your face. And Abigail went to Noble, and see, he was at feast in his house. He was eating, her husband, when she went back, like the feast of the king. And Noble's heart was glad within him, and he was exceedingly drunk. So she told him not a word, little much, or until the morning light. So she saw he was drunk. She didn't mention the conversation or anything that had happened with David to him because he was drunk. And y'all know how some drunk people get. They still want to fight and they still get rowdy. So she was like, nope, I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to tell him later. And it came to be in the morning when wine was gone from Noble, he was no longer drunk, and his wife had told him these matters, that his heart died within him, and he became like a stone. He was shocked. He was spooked. He couldn't believe it, right? He thought he was big and bad, but she was like, nah, you thought you was big and bad. He was getting ready to come here and kill everybody in this household, and he'd had all his men. That's the Most High son. That's the Most High chosen one. And you did that to him. He was getting ready to come back and be on business with you. So he was like, he had to be in shock and in disbelief, right? He thought you was hard. He thought you was big boy. No, David was getting ready to shed blood. Okay. And it came to be in about 10 days that Yahuwah smote Noble, and he died. So he died anyway because of his evil deeds and because of the evilness that he shared. And remember, it said at the beginning of the chapter that he was very evil. So evil came back upon him, right? You reap what you sow. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say. And David heard that Noble was dead, and said, Blessed be Yahuwah, who has pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Noble, and kept his servant from evil. Okay, so let's stop right there. David, after he calmed down and was getting ready to take vengeance, this is why the Most High said, do not take vengeance into your own hands. Vengeance is and always have been the Most High's. So David had to remember those words. Vengeance is not ours to take upon in our own hands, because that's what David was getting ready to do. But Abigail stopped him and reminded him of the Most High's word. Vengeance is not yours, it's the Most High's, right? So after David calmed down, he had to have had a conversation and had a prayer to the Most High and said, you know what, thank you, Most High, for having her to stop me from doing something I wasn't supposed to do. Thank you for having her come to me and remind me of your words. So this is what I will ask, if you would just keep us from any evil, and basically praying, doing what we're supposed to do, praying against our enemies. And the Most High did what? He took care of it, because 10 days later, Noble was dead. Her husband was dead, right? So Noble or Nabal. Y'all know, if y'all been my subscribers, y'all know my pronunciation is not always there when it comes to the Bible sometimes. I'm sorry. Okay. But her husband was dead 10 days later. Okay. Just saying. And kept his servant from all evil. For Yahuwah has returned the evil of Noble or Nabal on his own head. The Bible says that too. Anything for anyone does against you, the Most High is always going to turn their evil onto their own head, just to show that the Most High is the Most High. Ain't he great? And David sent and spoke to Abigail to take her as his wife. And when the servants of David have come to Abigail, they spoke to her, saying, David sent us to you to ask you to become his wife. And she arose and bowed her face to the earth and said, Here is your female servant, a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my master. And Abigail heard and rose on a donkey, and with 5 of her female attendants, and she followed the messenger of David and became his wife. And David had also taken other wives, Ahaniam of Israel, and both of his wives, but Saul had given Micah, I can't get it right, Michal, daughter of David's wife, who also a David's wife. Sorry. So David had he ended with a few wives, but Yeah, that is the chapter. So, in conclusion, if you guys read it on your own, let me know what your interpretation is of that. But my interpretation is that Abigail was very a strong woman who knew the Most High. It said it from the beginning that she was very wise and she had understanding, right? She understood good, evil, right? Goodness, you repay good with more good, even evil. Someone does evil to you, you do not take matters into your own hand. And that's what she stopped David from doing. She stopped David from taking matters into his own hands so that he could allow the Most High to do what the Most High, all praises, is supposed to do, which is smart our enemies for us. We're never supposed to go and do things in our own hands against our enemies, right? We're supposed to pray to the Most High and ask the Most High, hey, Most High, can you step in for me? Most High, do this for me. And the Most High sees everything good and evil anyway, but when we acknowledge Him, even when we are tempted to take action, when we acknowledge the Most High and we praise the Most High and we pray to Him in the midst of that, oh, He's like, oh, I got you. I have seen it in many instances. He's going to take care of it. But the key is to keep your composure and not to allow any situation, whether you're enemies, whether family, friends, it doesn't matter. And don't allow any situation to take you out of knowing the Most High's word and take you out of character and get you to move on a way that will ultimately lead you to sin, because that is exactly what David was getting ready to do. He was going to kill everyone in sight, including Abigail, which is not evil like her husband. She was very kind, she was very understanding, and obviously she had a relationship with the Most High. She knew who the Most High was, even though her husband wasn't operating under the Most High Spirit, she was. So David was getting ready to off her too, all because he was angry and let his anger get the best of him, which shows and proves also that David, even though he was chosen by the Most High, even though the Most High used him for many things, he wasn't perfect either. You know, sometimes anger gets the best of him. Moses is another example. Moses had a temper. Moses broke the tablets not once but twice after coming up from 40 days and 40 nights with the Most High, writing them dang on things by hand, and he got down there and seen them make that calf, that golden calf down there, and he lost it, and he just, bam, threw them tablets on the ground, and it's like, Moses, you just came from up there with the Most High 40 days and 40 nights making them things, and you just gonna let your anger get push you to do that? You was that mad? I get it though, because they weren't supposed to do that. The Israelites lost faith and thought Moses wasn't coming back, and they just like, okay, well, this is gonna be our God. So I get it, Moses, but Moses is another example of he had a hot temper too, and he was just like, you know what I mean. So I said that to say that David was no exception. He was not perfect either. None of us are perfect, but even I'm saying that because even if you're chosen by the Most High and you are a leader, you could still have your slip ups. You could still be tempted to do something wrong, and you could be tempted to sin, or you could be tempted to just for a split second forget the Most High's word and move in a way that's not according to the Most High's plan for you. It happens to all of us. So for those of you and myself who feel discouraged when you mess up, or you kind of let, temptation get the best of you, or you let the enemy kind of rile you up and get you outside, what we say, outside our body a little bit, and act in a way that we're not really supposed to act. So don't get down about it, because it happens to the best of us. Again, nobody's perfect, and we're all a work in progress. And yeah, even if King David can lose his temper and the Most High snapped him back into reality, the Most High can do the exact same for you too. So, um, but yes, I'm trying to make sure my notes. But yes, so in a way, I want to keep these key points. Abigail, about her story, she not only saved her husband from getting killed, she saved everyone in their house. She saved King David from himself, because who knows what the Most High was going to do to King David if he had actually gone through with his plan and killed everyone in that household without checking with the Most High first. Okay. It is in a, when you're in such a position and you know you're being used by the Most High, you must check with the Most High before making every single decision. And in that instant, Abigail had to remind him, you got to check with the Most High. Do you think the Most High wants you to do this? Of course not. You know what I mean? So she saved King David's life. She saved her life. She saved her husband's life, and she saved everyone else's life that was in that household. So her role, if she had not came out to talk to David and rushed with him to him with all these gifts and all the things, the food and stuff that she was taking to him to gift him with, if she had not done that, if she had sat back and was like, okay, I'm just gonna let, you know how they like to say, just woman, play your role and just sit back and let the man take the lead. But her husband obviously was not leading and doing the right thing. So had she sat back and just not done anything, who knows what had happened. So she saved everyone else's life in that household, including hers, her husband's, and David. So she was a warrior in that moment. She was a lifesaver in that moment. Okay, she's a queen. So we have to remember Abigail's story, give her snaps. You know what I mean? So we got to remember her for that. Okay. And if you remember in my scripture, Proverbs 15, when it says fighting evil with evil, when you fight evil with more evil, it causes more strife, right? But if you bring kindness and love into the situation, it kind of can simmer things down, and that's exactly what happened in this case and scenario. She calmed David all the way down. She was able to do that as a woman. You know what I mean? So, yes, and in a nutshell, just the act of kindness, can go so many ways. So instead of insinuating violence, Abigail chose to give, right? And instead of hostility, she chose hospitality. So let's be more like Abigail, and let's choose to handle certain situations in a different manner, right? Not meeting someone where they are with evil, but instead spreading peace, love, positivity, and happiness. Okay? Just like Sister Abigail. So I got you, Queen Abigail, King David's wife, one of his wives. We want to remember her for her courageous acts, because that took a lot of bravery, and that took a lot of, it took bravery and it took courage to step to someone that you know is that angry, that's getting ready to kill. And he even told her to her face, I was getting ready to kill everybody in sight, including you. So it took so much courage, so much guts, and so much bravery to step to somebody that you know was getting ready to kill you and the entire house. Oh yeah, she was brave. So we are remembering Sister Abigail. Remember her strength, remember her wisdom, because she, just like the rest of the queens in the Bible, have a great story to tell. And yeah, it was extreme importance, and we need to stamp that and put some respect on her name. So that is it, y'all, for this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Be blessed. Love you.